morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Thank you for joining me on our weekly live for relationship communications. Welcome to our weekly live, and I'm thrilled that you're here to joining me live. And for those of you that may be joining for the first time, I'm Lisa DeToffol, and I'm the founder of Relationship Communications. It's my online community where I work with established and aspiring entrepreneurs. And today I'm going to be your host for the Relationship Communications Weekly Live, which is my weekly live stream show that airs every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So I do hope you would add that to your calendar and make plans to join me every Friday morning at 10 a.m. And my goal here is to share tactical and practical information to help you get where you want to be faster than you can go on your own. I've been an entrepreneur now for 7 years. I've made many mistakes, and I'm here to tell you I can help you move through them more quickly by sharing what I have learned through my experiences. And I've learned a lot, I promise. Let me know if you are here live and where you're coming in from. Say hello. And we are streaming in various different places, Facebook, YouTube, etc. If you are joining us on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button or ring the bell so that you can be notified every time that we do go live. And we do go live several times a week. So today we're going to be talking about make it easy for people to find you. You're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and maybe you've been in business for a while, like I have. Just celebrated 7 years this month of being in business. So you want to make sure that, whatever industry or whatever type of business it is that you have, mine is a virtual assistant business. So if someone is looking for a virtual assistant and say they Google virtual assistants, that I'm one of the names that come up, front and center. So you want to make sure that you're out there on different platforms. If they go to LinkedIn looking for a virtual assistant, then I definitely want to make sure I'm there, right? That they can find me. So we'll dive a little bit deeper in that in a few minutes. So before we do dive into our topic, I want to introduce myself. Back in 2017, when I was a preschool teacher, and 25 years prior to that, I had dreamed of working from home. But I had been through 2 messy divorces and been a single mom twice. And it didn't seem possible at that time. I was the breadwinner for my household and, believe it or not, a little scared to take that chance to go out and try to do anything on my own. Then I met my husband in 2012, and that is when I could see the possibility of my dream coming true. However, it was not an easy task. So with his support, I started a training program to learn how to be a virtual assistant in 2018, which also showed me how to start my own business. By the end of that program, I had a couple of clients, earned a certification, and have continued to grow my business. And now the Tiger Eye Solution team that was established in 2021 every single year. So life looks a whole lot different now than it did back then. This is my family, my children, my grandchildren, my husband, all of them. And so if I can do it, you can do it too, right? If you're just starting out, or maybe you're even thinking about starting your own business, whether it's a brick and mortar business or a virtual type business, whatever that is and whatever that looks like for you. If you have questions around that and you'd like to learn a little bit more about my story and how I got started, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and share more information. But let's dive into make it easy for people to find you, okay? We're going to talk about the places where you want to have your contact information front and center, okay? You'd be shocked how many times I have been on a call with clients and we look at their LinkedIn profile, okay? And I say, let's look at your contact information. And then they say, oh my gosh, that email address is so old, it don't even work anymore. Or they look at the phone number and say, that's the wrong phone number. I don't have that phone number any longer. And I'm thinking, really? I don't say that, but I'm thinking that, right? And like, OMG, we have to get this cleaned up because, you can imagine somebody referred you, if you wanted to hire a VA, they'd say, you need to hire Lisa. Okay, great. Then they go to my LinkedIn page and they're checking me out, or they go to my website as well, or all the places. And what happens is the information is wrong. Maybe it's not the right email address or the correct phone number. So they never hear back from me. They may use whatever email address is listed there. But if it's the wrong email address, I'm not going to get that email and I'm not going to respond to them. Right? So again, they never hear back from me, or they get, they try to call me via phone and it goes do, that little message that you get when it's the phone number is no longer in service, that type of thing. So the person, it says, the person you're trying to reach is no longer available, or this number is no longer available, whatever the message says. And how frustrating is that, right? So think about that. If that's what your contact information looks like on your LinkedIn profile, and somebody is trying to reach out to you because they're trying to hire you, they need whatever it is you have to offer. Just like in this scenario, they need virtual assistant services. So they're trying to reach out to me, but my email address and phone number are not correct. Then they're not going to reach me, right? They're going to move on and go find someone else. So let's talk about a couple of different places, okay? The first one, of course, is LinkedIn. Now, if you don't have a full profile built out on LinkedIn, that's fine. What you need to do is have a picture, a headshot of yourself, and I want you to have your contact information intact, up to date, all the things. If you don't know how to do that, let's talk. I can help you get all of that set up. But you can literally start clicking on the pencils on the profile, and you'll see that it'll come up for you to put your website in, your birth date, your email, your phone number, all the different things. And you don't really have to worry about putting all that info out on the internet if you're putting it in a LinkedIn profile, okay? Because that's really an important place for business owners, professionals, etc., to have that type of information, because LinkedIn is a professional type platform, right? So you definitely, if you are in business for real, want to have a LinkedIn profile set up. So again, don't worry about putting all that info out on the internet. You want people to be able to reach out to you. And the result is that I don't have to answer the phone unless I know who it is. I can always call them back if it's someone I do need to talk to. Yes, I get spam calls all the time, just like the next person, right? So, and we all do it, and it's okay. If they're calling me for business purposes, I do have a business line and a business phone number, and they are more than welcome to leave a message as well. Because 9 times out of 10, when they first call, I'm not going to be available to answer that phone call. So there is specific times of the day I have set aside to return phone calls. And so I would return their phone call after receiving their message. So I do encourage people that are trying to call me to leave a message to let me know they called, let me know the reasoning for their call, etc. And then I would call them back. And same thing on Facebook. Whether you have a business profile or a personal profile, make sure your information is there. There, in a place of where you'd list contact info, everywhere basically. Same on Instagram, put it in your link tree if you have one, or, whatever you use for that. Just as you go through life, you want to really pay attention how people get in touch with you. And there's going to be different avenues for sure. It's not always going to be LinkedIn. There's going to be other places that people are looking for you as well. Say, definitely your website. Review your contact page on your website and be sure all your contact info is there. You can include a phone number, email, email address, and the link, to schedule time on your calendar. Even if you have a calendar link to where they could schedule that one-on-one conversation if y'all met at a networking event, or a consultation call if that's something that you offer. I have both on my contact page on my website because I do both. I do a lot of networking, so if they do want to schedule that one-on-one coffee chat, they have that option. So they can click the link to schedule a coffee chat. I also do consultation calls for anyone that is interested in working with Tiger Eye Solution and get virtual assistant services. I have a link on there for that as well, to where they can schedule a consultation call with me. So we can figure out if we're a good fit to work together, right? And go from there. So again, you want to include your phone number, your email address, a link to schedule time with you on your calendar. Make it simple, simple, simple for them. Okay, the more simple you make it, the better. Other places, in your business, some of you may, even be on Alignable, which is a great networking platform. I'm also there as well, and all my contact information is there on my page. Twitter is another option. Wherever you hang out, just make sure all your contact information is there. Some consumers, I've seen it happen over and over and over. And we think if we have it in one place, people will find it. Everybody's brain works differently. You can't just put it in one place. Like you might think, okay, it's on my website. Okay, but how are they going to find your website? Right? You need to have that website link in contact info too, like on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is you are, or wherever it is you hang out. So don't miss an opportunity because people can't find you. Make sure all the different platforms you're a part of, whether you hang out there on a regular basis or you just have a profile there, whatever the case is, just make sure your contact information is there, because you never know. I can share this example because I just had this happen to me this week. All of you know I network a lot. And like I said, I network a lot on Alignable. So I meet a lot of people, right? Back in June, early June, I was at a networking event on Alignable and met a person. And we scheduled a one-on-one conversation. I think it was around June 26th, 27th, something like that is when the one-on-one conversation coffee chat took place. We shared with each other about ourselves, our businesses, etc., all the things. Have not talked to that person since then, since that one-on-one conversation at the end of June. This week, they came on board as a new client. I have what I call a debit card system, is how my business operates. My debit cards are on my website. So she went to my website and purchased one. And that's how you get started as a client with Tiger Eye Solution, is by purchasing one of those debit cards off my website. Like I said, I have not talked to her since the end of June when we had a one-on-one conversation. Come to my office Monday morning and a debit card has been purchased off my website. I get an email telling me someone has purchased a debit card. So I gained a new client through my networking efforts over a month ago. That's how it works, guys. And it can work that way for you too. If you have any questions about anything I shared, and need help, figuring out how to put your contact information on a specific platform or anything like that, please reach out. Let's have a conversation. I can show you a few tips here and there and help you out with that, okay? But I also want to invite you. Relationship Communications has a monthly networking event. And this month, our event takes place on July 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So I do hope you'll add that to your calendar. Make plans to attend. You do need to sign up for it also. So if you're not a part of the Relationship Communications Facebook group, I invite you to go to Facebook, become part of the group. It's a free group to be a part of. This is posted in there, and I will post it again later today with a link to where you can sign up to participate in that networking event Also, I'd like to invite you to my next 3-day free event called the Networking Method Launchpad. It go from nothing to networking is what it's all about, and it starts on September the 10th. This is also something you would need to sign up for. However, it is free. It's a 3-day free event, kind of to help you get started with your networking efforts. You know, if you're new in business, or maybe you're just new trying to get your networking efforts going, this would be so beneficial for you to sign up. Like I said, again, it's free, a free 3-day event to attend. There's so much involved. There's prizes. There is extra bonuses. Sorry, lost my train of thought there for a second. And in part 1, we talk about what is networking on day 1. And then on day 2, on September 15th, we talk about, it's kind of magical, get real about your networking. And then on day 3, which is September 17th, we learn how to start from where you are. Okay? Again, there is homework and bonuses involved and so much more. And I'm going to also open the doors to the Networking Method Launchpad. Networking Method Academy, which is my 6-month signature course on how to make the most of your networking efforts. And I would love for you to think about that as well. Now, this 3-day event is free for you to come learn how to get started with your networking, all the ins, all the outs, all the things you need. And maybe you could have an experience just like I did this week from my networking efforts, right? I met the person at a networking event in early June. And here it is, late July, over a month later. And they have now signed up to be a client with Tiger Eye Solution. That's how it works. Okay. And I want that for you too. Any questions about anything I shared, please reach out, and I will see you again soon. Have a great weekend.